Today we're going to talk about the life of Edgar Allan Poe. It's going to be divided into 4 sections, and the first section will be called his early years. Poe was born January 19, 1809 in Boston, Massachusetts. Poe's father abandoned the family when Poe was born, and Poe's mother died of tuberculosis before Poe was 2 years old. He was then taken in by John and Frances Allan. That concludes Section 1, the early years. Section 2 deals with Poe's schooling and other training that he had. Poe went to the University of Virginia and made very good grades. His adopted father, Mr. Allan, didn't give him enough money to live on. So Poe ran up excessive debt and ended up having to start gambling to try to earn money. His father, John, refused to pay off any debts or give Poe any money to continue his education. So Poe was forced to leave school. He then left the Allan home without any money. In 1927, Poe enlisted in the U.S. Army using the name Edgar A. Perry. He served 2 years and was discharged with the rank of Sergeant Major. Now that was pretty good. Poe did well in the service. Next, he went to live with his aunt, Maria Poe Clem, in Baltimore, Maryland. She was his father's sister. He received an appointment to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. When Mr. Allan remarried, all of Poe's funds were cut off. Poe then had to leave West Point because he had no money then to attend the school. This concludes Section 2 on schooling. Section 3, Career and Personal Life of Poe. Poe began writing while at the University of Virginia, and he wrote many magazines and newspaper articles. Shortly thereafter, when he went to West Point, he began writing the Pro Tale, which is what we know him for. Poe had several jobs working for numerous newspapers and magazines while in the service at West Point. At 27, he married his young cousin, Virginia Clem. In 1844, Poe moved his wife and aunt to New York to help him get a boost with his career. In 1845, Poe wrote his most famous poem, of course, which was The Raven. Then his career really took off. Poe wrote many great short stories also, such as The Telltale Heart, The Cask of Amontillado, and The Pit and the Pendulum, just to name a few. This ends Section 3. Section 4, The Tragic Years. Poe's young wife, Virginia, became ill and died of tuberculosis on January 30th, 1847. Poe began drinking heavily after her death, and when he drank, he was prone to violent outbursts. Poe was found unconscious on a street in Baltimore after he had had a speaking engagement. He died a few days later on October the 7th, 1849, at the age of 40. Poe is buried in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, there are many speculations on the cause of Poe's death, and we really do not know. Some theories include that he had alcohol poisoning, although in Poe's later years, he quit drinking because he knew about these violent outbursts, and he did quit drinking. Another theory is possibly rabies, which at that time there was no cure for, or maybe heart attack or epilepsy. All of these things go to make up the wonderful writer Edgar Allan Poe that we have come to love, and especially we love his writings. So now you are to conclude Section 4. Hope you enjoyed Poe.